Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome into another Movement Parallels life practice. My name is Kellen Mylad, and today we're going to flow through a series of 15 different movements for stability, mobility, and body awareness. Let's get started. Start out in a wide stance and sink down into your hips. This is going to really be the base position for today's practice. Take these opening moments to gently sway from side to side, breathe deeply, and check in with your body. And as you're settling in this first 60-second interval, just take a moment to set an intention for today's practice. I want to invite you to find a balance today between challenging yourself and honoring your body and your energy levels where they're at. This is your practice. You set the intensity level. If you want to turn up the intensity, sink down deeper into the squat and challenge your legs. When you need a break, rise up and let your hips and legs breathe. We've got about 20 seconds left in this first interval, so maybe you start to get a little bit more dynamic with your movements, allowing your arms to swing from side to side. Towards the end of each interval, there'll be an on-screen preview of the next movement coming in the series. Other than that, be in your body, move, breathe, flow, do your thing. For the next 60 seconds, we're moving through wide stance squats. Sink down into your hips, working within the range of motion that feels strong and safe for you. Rise up and repeat. Play with the tempo, setting the pace that feels right for you, and coordinate your breathing with your movement in a way that feels natural. "15 seconds left before our switch. We're moving on to shoulder twists. Maintain your wide stance. Extend your arms out to your sides, palms up, and drop your shoulders. Internally rotate one shoulder so that your palm flips over 360 degrees. Take your gaze out towards your opposite hand and elongate to create the stretch. Hold for a moment and then switch. Continue alternating through this twisting shoulder stretch, allowing your body to drift from side to side. Continue on with the shoulder twists for 15 more seconds. Bring yourself back to middle, reset, and next we're on to these arcing lateral reaches. Stay rooted in your feet and strong in your core as you bend to the side. Wrap your bottom arm around your rib cage and take your top arm into an arcing overhead reach, elongating through your side. Maybe hold the reach and take a big inhalation, feeling the expansion of your rib cage. With an exhalation, draw yourself back to middle and switch sides. Continue flowing through these side bends for 15 more seconds. Come back to middle, rise up to standing, and we'll move on to windmill reaches. Soften your knees and hinge forward at the hips, maintaining a strongly braced core and elongated spine. Release one hand, rotate through your shoulders, and extend into an overhead reach. Use soft strength and intention to hold the twist. Sense the length of your spine and your elongated arms. Hold the position for a deep breath or as long as you'd like, and then switch sides. Take 15 more seconds with these windmill reaches. We'll continue working with the hip hinge pattern as we flow through these trunk circles next. Keep your stance wide, knees soft, and core braced as you mindfully sweep your torso through a full range of motion. Imagine ducking under and around an obstacle, and as you're rising up, pushing your hips forward, mindfully opening into spinal extension to complete the circle. Move with smooth control, switching directions every 2 to 3 reps. Keep flowing through the circles for 15 more seconds. Come back to middle, take a deep breath to reset, and next we'll move on to squat shifting on the ball of the foot. From your wide stance, shift your weight, sit your hips, bring your hands to the floor, or use blocks for support. As you lower down into the depth of your squat, allow your heel to release from the floor and the toes of your opposite foot to point upward to the ceiling. Alternate from side to side, working within your pain-free range of motion, giving your body as much support as it needs to feel strong and stable through this pattern. Keep on flowing, 15 more seconds before the switch. We're moving on to the side shift to single leg balance. Smoothly shift your weight to one side with enough force to bring your center of gravity over one leg. Gently push off the ground with your opposite leg and push into the ground on your standing leg, elongating and stabilizing the single leg balance. Grip the floor and engage your standing leg. Use your arms and free leg as counterweights to catch the balance and find your center. Hang in the balance for a moment before lowering down, softly touching the floor and smoothly shifting your weight over to the other side. Keep playing with your balance for 15 more seconds. Stabilize yourself back in your wide stance, and we're going to return to squat shifting, this time keeping the heel grounded. You might begin by hinging forward from the hips and planting your hands on the ground. Shift your weight and walk your hands over to one side, lowering your hips down into a depth that feels right for you. If you feel your hips beginning to open up, and if it feels right for you, remove your hands from the floor and maintain a more upright torso. Stay low as you shift from side to side, or stand up and lower down with each rep. Final 20 seconds. If it feels right for you, you might start incorporating rotation and reaching. Next up, we've got a 3-position flow. Pivot on the balls of your feet and rotate your body out to the side to come into a low lunge. Then elevate your hips and straighten your legs, coming into a split hinge stretch. Then with the arm opposite your front leg, reach out, post on the ground, and perform a forward kick through. Hold the position for a moment, then draw your leg back to return to the low lunge and repeat the sequence. Stay on this side and we'll work the opposite side in the next interval. Final 10 seconds before the switch. Okay, now step back to your wide stance. Rotate your body to face the other direction and return to your low lunge. Elevate your hips and straighten your legs to come into your split hinge. Then post your hand and transition into your forward kick through. From there, just keep on flowing through the cycle at your own pace. "15 more seconds before the switch. Make your way back up into your wide stance, and we're going to move on to our next pattern, a sit through to a side sit. Hinge forward from your hips, plant one hand on the ground, step forward with your same side leg and slide into your hip to transition into your side sit. Hang out for a moment, then plant your hands, reverse the path, and switch sides. Keep your core braced and your support arm locked out and actively pushing into the ground to make the transition smooth and controlled. Keep moving through this transition for 15 more seconds. Now make your way up to standing and come into a narrow stance, because next up we're going to work through some deep knee bend rocking. From hip width or closer, lower down onto the balls of your feet and begin feeling out the range of motion, shifting your weight forward and back. And if those movements are feeling strong and pain-free, try expanding on them, drawing your hips back to ground your heels, and then shifting your weight forward, leaning your upper body back until your knees softly touch the ground. Listen to your body, play around with the movements, and stand up whenever you need to give your legs a chance to breathe. "15 seconds until the switch. Make your way into a crawl position and sit your hips back to your heels. Dynamically shift your weight forward, stepping or jumping your feet outside your hands, transitioning into a deep squat. Take a few moments to hang out in the deep squat position, then plant your hands, jump back, and repeat. Take 15 more seconds to play with this crawl to squat transition. Now from your deep squat or your deep knee bend, round your spine and rock back onto your shoulders. Then use your momentum to rock right back up into your squat. Once again, take a few moments to play around and hang out in that squat position before you rock back again. You can stick with rocking up into a bilateral squat or play around with rocking up into a split squat or single leg squat. Keep on flowing with this pattern for 15 more seconds. And lastly, today we're going to finish our practice with a simple deep squat hold. Stay loose and remember to breathe as you explore the squat. Play around adding weight shifting, reaching, rotating, or any movements that feel good for your body. And just like that, our practice today is complete. Thank you so much for coming through to move with me. I hope this session has got you feeling open and energized. If so, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description. Come back again soon. We'll do it again. I'll see you in the next practice.